Hi everybody! Can you see me okay? How we doing? Is the sound alright? I'm using OBS Studio. I usually don't use regular OBS, but this seems way better in every way. Yeah. Everything good? I'm always not sure at the beginning. I did test this out beforehand, and it seemed good on my end, but I trust you guys more than I trust myself. Today we're going to be checking out Fire Emblem Echoes, a game that I've been playing through, and I'm going to be reviewing it. Damiani was going to review it, but he's going to be out of town, and so in an effort to get that review to you more quickly, I'm going to be reviewing it, and we can stream it for an hour. And so I don't really want to talk too much. I just kind of want to get into it and show you guys the game and answer any questions that maybe you have. And I'm getting a Bethesda launcher notice on my computer. Yeah, so I'm not going to actually check in with Godfrey just because we're so tight on time. We cannot go over the hour according to the restrictions from Nintendo. So I've put it on normal. We're going to put it on classic because, come on. And yeah, we're just going to get started. I will not be talking during the story cutscenes, which we're not going to be skipping those, so if you don't want to know anything about the very beginning of the game, we're not going to get past the beginning of the game, but if you don't want to know anything about the beginning of the game, this is your spoiler warning. So there you go. Sure, we'll receive notifications via Spot Pass. I thought I already did that. Sure, we'll share information with you, Nintendo. When is the next Gundam stream? The next Gundam stream is Friday from 12 to 4. Should be a grand old time. There's no shame in playing in casual. I was just making a joke. I enjoy classic more than casual. Yo, dog. They're killing each other.
Gods, no. Don't leave me, Celica. You can't. Celica! Celica! Say something, please! Celica!
I wanted to be the one to fill your dark soul with light. Alm and Celica.
Where did he go this time?
What's the matter, Faye? Don't tell me you're after him again.
Oh, hey, Gray. Say, have you seen Alm? I can't find him anywhere.
Alm? Don't waste your time looking for that guy.
Cliff! Wait, why not?
He and Celica went off for a stroll in the woods. I saw them leave.
He's with Celica? Again?
Exactly. Again? I mean, Celica just moved to Ram Village, right? Nice to know we're so easily replaced.
He's not replacing us. Celica's his cousin. Of course they're gonna be close.
I hate to break it to you, Faye.
Huh?
Sir Myson only has one grandkid, and that's Alm. Celica is his ward. Mother told me. They're not related by blood. Cliff's moss spouting gossip? I don't believe it. Still, I like where the story is going. Celica and her dark, unspeakable past.
Stop that, would you? So does this mean... is Alm gonna marry her someday?
What, marry her? Are we having the same conversation? Oh, there you are. You guys will never believe this. Hey, Tobin. Believe what? Somebody saw a knight in the woods. A real knight from the castle. Come on, let's go check it out. What? Why would a knight come here? Big fan of manure or something? I'm not missing this. He could be the last knight we see for months or years. Cliff, Faye, you coming?
Yeah.
Huh? Hey, wait up!
Over here! Come look at this!
I actually forgot about this part. So, a lot of times in this game you can explore 3 dungeons, and it looks really, really good. It may not look as good to you blown up on the stream, but on the 3DS itself, these 3D environments are pretty impressive. I have a save file in an early Chapter 1 dungeon, and so if we don't get to it naturally, at the end of the stream I might show it off, just so you guys can see what that looks like and how it is to explore those dungeons. But yeah, they're pretty impressive.
What is it, Celica? You find something?
I made a wreath out of these flowers. Here, put it on.
What? No.
Why not? I think it'd make you look very handsome.
I think you mean very stupid. Boys don't wear wreaths.
Don't call it stupid. It took me a long time to make this. Fine then. Maybe I'll just give it to Grandpapa instead.
You're kidding, right?
Grandpapa knows a manly wreath when he sees one, unlike some boys.
Ha ha, very funny.
You're picturing him wearing it. Admit it. There's the smile I was looking for. Huh? What, is something wrong?
No, I'm glad you've cheered up is all. When you first came to the village, you always wore such a dark expression. Plus, you never spoke a word. Grandpapa told me to be nice, but I wasn't sure how to make things better.
Well, I think you did just fine. Each story that you told me, each flower you picked for me, each walk you took with me here in the woods, that all made a difference, Om.
Come on, I didn't do anything special.
Or maybe you did. I'm sorry that my first words to you were so unkind.
Are you talking about when you called me a boor or a clod?
Hey, I said I'm sorry. I've just never had any friends my age. So I guess I wasn't used to boys like you.
Well, I'd never met a girl like you either. Don't let it get to you.
Say, why are you so nice to me?
Why? Do I need a reason? I mean, I guess it's because I never knew my parents, I have no siblings, and Grandpapa has always forbid me from setting foot outside the village. You're like a window to a world that I've never had the chance to know. Is that a good enough reason, or... Oh, hey!
What is it?
See this? We have the same mark.
Yes. Except yours is on your left hand and mine is on my right.
Well, that makes us close. Doesn't it?
I suppose it does, in a strange sort of way. I wonder why the marks are so similar.
It's because they're special. They prove that the two of us belong together. Always. That is, if you're not already tired of a clod like me making you laugh.
Of course not. So, do you mean it? We'll always be together?
Yes. I promise. Isn't that what you want?
Yes, of course. You have my word. I'll never leave. Ah!
Huh? That was Faye.
Is she in trouble?
It came from beyond those trees. Come on!
Stop it! Let me go!
Looks like our luck's picked up, eh, Sir Slade? After days of the same old trees, such cherubic faces are welcome indeed. After all, where little brats play, we'll find a village, I say.
Listen well, you whelps. My men and I, loyal knights in service to His Majesty King Lima IV, may the powers bless him in his name until the end of days, hereby command you to lead us to your miserable line of hovels, where you shall have the honor of dining us and otherwise providing all comforts. It shall be an evening to remember. So lead on, and make haste now.
But... we can't just... We'll get the scolding of our lives if we bring strangers to the village. Good Sir Knight, if I may. Our home is but a small village. To call it a line of hovels is too generous. We do not wish to offend you, and you are clearly deserving of so much more. So please, we humbly implore your great mightiness to...
You, boy, have you an older sister?
Me? I have two, actually. What about him?
That'll suffice. We'll take all the food and drink you can muster, and your sisters can serve it. I wager we'll get naught but pig feet and horse piss, but so be it. I shall force it down, if I must.
Gods, Cliff, shut your hole. Don't cry in front of him. But Gray, we should all be crying, Gray. We're not really gonna take him to the village, are we? Hey, I don't like it either. If I knew the Royal Knights were such royal turds, I never would have...
Enough chittering, little squirrels. I am not a patient man. If you do not wish to entertain us the one way, you can entertain us the other. Perhaps we shall remove your tiny heads from your shoulders, one by one. Ah! You first, Philly. Don't worry, lass. I'll make a nice, clean cut.
No!
Back off!
How many whelps does this blasted village contain?
Get away from my friends! You're not going to set one foot in our village!
Is that so? Someone neglected to teach this mangy pup any manners. You there, girl. Show me your face.
No!
By the gods, it really is her. How you came to walk among these animals is beyond me. Regardless, you shall make a fine prize to take back to General Desai. Seize her!
No! Let me go!
Get your hands off her! Oh, you did not just punch a knight!
You dare raise a hand to me, you base-born, barn-bred. So be it. You will stave off your death sentences no longer, especially you. The mother can't save you now, brat!
Look out!
Huh? Grandpapa?
What? My son? What are you doing in a backwater wasteland like... Ah, but I think I know. Now this is indeed good fortune. We never finished what we started in the flames that night, old man. I have much to repay you for. I mustn't forget all my virtues, after all.
Children, run to the cemetery up ahead. Go on now.
What? Why? What are you gonna do?
Now, all of you, run!
All right, come on, guys!
Listen well, children. We will drive these ruffians away, but you must follow my every command.
What? But we're no match for them.
You're serious, Grandpapa?
He's always serious. It's just that this time he's also crazy. We can't do this. Half a dozen children can't win against mounted knights.
I want my mother.
I want to go home.
Enough! The only way you're going home is by fighting as if your life depends on it. Celica.
Sir!
I trust you to remember some of what I've taught you of the sword. Now, clear the mind, steady the hand, and show me what you've learned. Only you can get yourselves through this. Are you ready? I want you to follow my every command. First, get yourselves to a safer position.
I love the beginning of this story because it's pretty typical at the beginning where you have this, you know, this small rural village that gets invaded by this imposing army. And then your grandpapa comes in and he says, "Listen, kids, we're going to the cemetery to fight." Like, you've never most of these kids are just, you know, they're babies, and he's putting them to fight against armed soldiers in the cemetery. It's great. Ben, would you play Super Robot Wars 5? Somebody sent it to you? I actually have it. I actually did import it. I just haven't had a chance to get to it. We should make a special stream because, yeah. I think people in Discord are really hyping it up, and it seems super cool. Somebody was asking me, now that we can finally...
distance from the enemy. Don't try to pursue
now that we can
them.
finally play. This game doesn't have the weapon triangle, so it doesn't have the swords beating axes, axes beating lances, lances beating swords kind of thing. Red, green, blue. And how does that change the game? It changes it... This is still Fire Emblem, and it still feels very much like Fire Emblem, and so if you've played any of the past games, you're not going to feel out of whack, but it's different enough that it makes it interesting. Like, you can't just play this exactly like the other Fire Emblem games, and so it's refreshing without being alienating, is the way that I would describe it. Also, defensive positions are really important. Like, good terrain is really, 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 really important. So if we're in the forest, we get a bonus, we get cover from being in that forest. If we're in the grave, we get even a bigger defensive boost than we are in the forest. And you want to be in these defensive positions, you want to be in this tough terrain because it makes it much harder for them to hit you, which is good. Nothing like taking no damage. Speaking of no damage,
Take shelter in the
what I've experienced so far, all attacks at least do 1 damage. You won't have an attack do no damage. And that can add up over time.
Alright.
So we're just going to put everybody in the shrubs as best we can, try to defend them. We can see this is where the enemy can strike us on their turn, that purple grid.
Let me at him.
Let me make sure I have combat animations on. As expected, the combat animations are great.
You've done all you can for now.
Ben, the Surge is fun. Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It is fun. I'm looking forward to playing more.
You're no match for me.
As a big fantasy nerd, seeing the combat animations in Fire Emblem just tickles me in the best way.
Age before beauty. Enough. You lack experience.
Damn those horse attacks. Yeah, the horse just kicking him. And since this is a save file that we're not really going to use, it's okay for us to just kind of mess around and not do things optimally. But of course, in Fire Emblem, you want to try to like spread your experience around. It's very easy to just have your strongest units clear through everybody, but then your other units aren't getting experience and are falling behind. So that's something to consider. Right now, all of our units are pretty boring, unfortunately, because they're all just villagers. Eventually, we're going to be able to upgrade them and choose their class. And so from the villager, we can make them a whole bunch of things, which I hope to show off as well after this opening.
Watch this.
Yeah, so he's got a 50% chance to hit us since we're in the forest. And if we were to move around him here, it's like he'd have a 90% chance. So basically, what that number means up top is it takes that away from their hit percent chance. And so if we were to go to the grave, he would have a 30% chance to hit us. Haru, are you disappointed with Fire Emblem's continually sprite-based graphics, even given that they're the majority of what you see during gameplay? No, I'm not. Because the way that I like to play turn-based strategy games is I like things to be quick. And I think having a sprite-based grid system just moves things along. It's faster. And so it doesn't bother me. We get the flashy combat animations, and you can turn them off if you want to, and I think that's a good compromise. especially in Echoes, some of the battles can be pretty long, and when you've been playing for hours and hours and hours, sitting through all that stuff can get a little bit tiresome.
I'll do my best.
I also just like the sprites. I don't know if it's nostalgia or what it is, but I also just like the sprites. Why don't you turn off animations? Because I want to show them off to you. I want to show them off to you guys. Are you still playing Fire Emblem Heroes? The game has kept my attention for far longer than I expected. Yes, I play Fire Emblem Heroes every day. I'm still trying to get an ideal party. I'm really bummed that I wasn't able to get Ike during the banner. But yeah, I'm playing every day. I voted for Tharja, so you can judge away if you'd like. I know some people are really mad at Tharja. That's fine. But I voted for Tharja, and I've been enjoying that. Yeah, and I think it's really cool. They've done a really good job of slowly building on that game and providing new mechanics and new events and things like that. Somebody asked if the kids can die. They can totally die.
Sorry.
As is what just happened right now. I didn't put Celica in a good position, and she's just dead. I don't know. When I played through this on my own, Celica obviously didn't die, and she's a main character in this game. So I don't know if in the prologue the rules are a little bit different. We'll have to see. I don't think Celica could just be dead. We'll have Mycene clean up for us. I wasn't paying enough attention. I was just like, oh, this is the prologue. We're fine. No one's gonna die. Slade said no.
Damn, they nearly have me.
You killed off the best character?
But not today. I must return to the castle.
Celica's good. May is my favorite character by far.
General Desai will be eager to learn that we have found her. The princess who refuses to die.
It's funny that you're saying that, Slade. She very much did just die. Time paradox. Yeah, I don't think that death will stick here. We'll see. Let's save here.
We did it! We actually did it! Look at them run, Grandpa.
Their friend is dead, and they're all stoked about it.
How did we do that exactly? It's all in the wrist. You wish. We only survived because we did exactly as Sir Mycene commanded. Oh, yeah? Does that mean Sir Mycene commanded you to sob like a baby?
Oh, yeah? How can you guys joke about this?
Grandpapa, Celica, that was great!
Mycene did all the work.
You're not happy? We saved the village from those despicable knaves. We're heroes. I mean, if nothing else, we're not dead. You could at least crack a smile.
You don't understand.
Now that they know Celica is here, they will stop at nothing. It's no longer safe for her to stay in the village.
What? But why? It doesn't have to be like that. Tell him, Celica.
I'm so sorry, I know that you would have kept your promise.
Don't apologize, Celica. Just tell me that this is a mistake. That you don't have to go.
It is already settled, and we lack the time to discuss it further. Get back to the village and pack your things, Celica. Hurry.
Yes, sir.
Hold on a second! Explain this to me, Grandpapa. Why are you making her leave? I want to know!
No, my boy. I fear that's a page you don't want to turn. Not yet, at any rate.
Oh, great. Now you're talking in riddles? I won't let you do this to her! She needs me!
You? A foolish boy who won't listen to reason? Celica has proven she has the strength to make hard choices. Yet what of you?
Please, don't take her away.
Would you mind looking after something for me?
But this is your good luck charm. You never take this off. It's special.
Yes, it is. And now it's yours. I want you to keep it close always. As close as you would have kept me. My mother gave that to me. Not that I actually remember, but...
Celica, I can't take this from you.
You're not taking it. I'm giving it. I pray that it keeps you safe. Take care, Alm.
Wait, Celica! Well, this turned into a fine mess. We don't know why she's leaving or even where she's going. And whatever Sir Myson knows, he isn't telling the likes of us. Hey, not everything is our business. I just feel bad for her, you know? She and Alm are different from us. Different? In what way? In every way.
Are you certain, Celica?
Yes. If I try to say goodbye to him, I'll just end up crying. Grandpa... Sir Myson? Where will I go next?
I have a place in mind. Perhaps it's time to call on an old friend. Under his care, I am certain your enemies will never find you. Forgive an old knight for failing you. Princess, had the Mother willed it, I would have stayed by your side and protected you to my dying days. But I cannot leave Ram Village. Not yet.
You don't need to apologize, Sir Myson. I regret nothing. The days I spent here with you and Alm were wonderful. The experiences I had and the friends I made all mean the world to me. You don't have to be my shining knight, Sir Myson. You just have to promise to always be my grandpapa.
Of course.
Celica! Celica!
You came for me.
I want to make a new promise. One day, when I'm older and stronger, I'm going to find you. It doesn't matter where the world hides you, or how long it takes. I promise to find you. So please, don't forget me, okay?
I could never forget you, Alm. And I promise too. I'll be waiting for the day we can meet again. But for now, I have to go. Grandpapa?
Yes, child?
Do you think I'll ever see him again?
I do. So long as destiny wills it.
Destiny. So be it.
Destiny 2. Prologue over. Hype cutscene. Hype intro. Begins. Sword in dragon's face. I saw people talking about voice actors. The voice actor for Alm is the same voice actor for 9S in Nier Automata, and the voice actor for Celica is the same voice actor for Futaba in Persona 5, the best character in that game. So that's how that works out.
Once the gods themselves walked these lands. Our continent of Valentia was home to two of them, sibling gods named Duma and Milla. The elder god Duma believed mankind must be ruled by strength, lest we become corrupt.
This is kind
While his
of...
sister Milla believed we should be free.
This is
to
kind of the
pursue
tabletop
lives of
escapades
pleasure and
overarching
comfort.
narrative.
The two clashed
Kind of.
ceaselessly. It was a long, dark age before the bitter conflict was resolved with the binding of a divine accord. Valentia would be divided in twain, with Duma ruling the north and Milla ruling the south. And in order to secure a lasting peace, each pledged never to violate the other's dominion. For millennia, this accord was honored, and peace did indeed reign. In time, the kingdom of Zofia, which Milla founded in the south, prospered with the goddess's love and blessings. Hers were a happy people who knew no toil and lived free of hardship. But Milla's gifts spoiled the Zophians, and it was only a matter of time before they sank into depravity.
That ruined a good thing. I want to be on Zofia.
Meanwhile,
A goddess
in the
just wants to
north,
make you happy.
Duma had built his own empire, tempered by harsh lands and the even harsher teachings of their fierce god. The people of Rigel had grown strong. But in their quest for power, the Rigelians had let their hearts grow cold and numb to all kindness. Both halves of the continent were in a fragile state, and the cracks had begun to show. And now, Valentia lies on the cusp of a terrible war that could forever alter its history.
The game doesn't do this too much, but I love when it does the 3D cutscenes like this. They're usually pretty well presented. They're a treat when they come. I can hear 9S and I'm already mad. Oh, I like 9S.
Well done, We'll end today's training here. Your swordsmanship has come a long way. I've always known you had talent.
You really think so? You're not just saying that, are you, Grandfather?
Either I'm getting old or you're getting better. And we both know I'm not old.
Ha! Well, good. Then that means you're ready to let me travel outside the village.
Don't misconstrue my words, boy. The rule still stands.
But why? I'm not a child anymore. You just said I can fend for myself. If I meet with any dangers, I'll have my sword and my wits.
That's not what this is about.
Then what is it about? Look, I've heard from the others. I know the drought's made Zofia a scary place. People are starving, and many have turned to thievery and plunder. Brigands loot villages for a mere sack of grain, and soon they'll be at our door. And don't think I haven't heard what the Rigelian army has been up to. They've been crossing the border for years in violation of the Divine Accord. And with that sacred bond broken, now the terrors have resurfaced as well.
All true.
Zofia is full of innocent people who are looking for help. Please, Grandfather. I want to make a difference in a world bigger than a handful of houses. I want to see all the amazing places you've told me about, that Celica told me about.
Suppose you do set forth with your sword and your wits. So what? Will the grand story of your life be how you met the end of a brigand's axe? Before you dream of changing the world, learn your damn place in it. And no more talk of leaving.
What's his problem? Why teach me to use a sword if you're not going to let me fight? Every day in this place is exactly the same as the next. I know I'm meant for more than this, but you have to let me find it. Huh? What's all the commotion? It's coming from the gates.
The localization team for this is 8-4-Play. They recently also did Nier Automata. They've done a bunch of other great things as well. They did Fire Emblem Awakening. And I think the localization is really good. Much better, in my opinion, than what we saw in Fates. There were definitely times in Fates where I'm like, wait, really? Really? Did that just come out of your mouth? And for the most part, the characters are really good. The beginning, I think, is well presented, but it's a little bit typical. Once you kind of get to know Alm's friends a little bit better, they start getting more interesting. And I really like Celica's partners. I think they're all, not all of them, but most of them are pretty good. May in particular is a standout. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to restart the game and load a save file that's a little bit further on so we can kind of dig into the mechanics a little bit more. Before I do that, this is something you'll do quite often, where you'll go to a new location and you can kind of move about it. It's sort of this, I described it in Frame Trap as an adventure game sort of style. This is actually really important. So I clicked on Examine here, and there are going to be things that you can pick up or look at. Sometimes, like this firewood, Alma's just going to say something. This is where we chop wood, I know, thrilling. And it's not that special, but there are things that you want to pick up, like this orange, for instance. And there's another one here. And you'll find new weapons, sometimes very strong weapons, just kind of strewn about the environment that you're going to want to put on your characters to use in battle. And food is important, especially during dungeon exploration, where it doesn't take very long for you to get fatigued, and if your character is fatigued, their stats are reduced. And so you want to eat food to cure that fatigue, or you want to go to what is known as a Milla statue. It's the goddess that they were talking about in the opening. And you can make an offering and cure everybody's fatigue. And so the fatigue mechanic is something that probably a lot of Fire Emblem players may not be familiar with. But anyway, let's restart. Actually, let me just move to show you what that's like. So you have this map. We're in Ram Village here. Alm's, the place where Alm grew up. We go to the square. And there are people to talk to. And I was surprised, even a lot of these, not all of them, but a lot of these conversations are fully voiced too. And once in a while, they'll ask for things. So a villager or somebody that you meet in the world might ask you if you have an item or if you can go save somebody for them. And so it's good to talk to everybody.
It's good to know our plight has the nobility so grief-stricken. King Lima dances at the end of Chancellor Desay's puppet strings. The king would rather eat grapes and frolic in a seraglio than actually rule. It's no wonder the kingdom's being torn apart by rebellion after rebellion. I wish someone would come along and save us from ourselves already. What's that? The Mother Milla? Like I'd waste my prayers on a goddess as useless as her.
Garmor brought up Shin Megami Tensei 4, and he's absolutely right. The way that this is presented is very Shin Megami Tensei 4. Yes. Yes. That's a good comparison if you guys are familiar with that. And there's some carrots that we can pick up. And some flour. You can also... So, like, you'll probably get a lot of flour very quickly. You can also go to the blacksmith and trade in that food for a little bit of silver coins. And those silver coins you can use to forge your weapons to make them stronger, which is very important as well. But you don't get access to a blacksmith immediately. It takes a little bit of time before that new aspect shows up. But anyway, let's restart. Let's go to a dungeon that I think I have on this other save file. In fact, actually, before we do that, let's save just in case we need to come back to this. So we've got about 22 minutes left of this very... I'm not used to only streaming for an hour, so I've got to hurry things along. And you stack your abilities. Krauser, sorry, Cashier, and I'll get to you in just a second. Krauser05 subscribed for 14 months in a row. Sorry if I missed anybody else, but
there was a
let's
god
get you some
named Duma
sofas.
and a goddess named Milla who fought each other bitterly for an age.
Hey, why did Mil...
And a Godfrey, because he said he couldn't join us on the stream. So as far as character abilities and stuff like that, it's different in this game than it has been in the last couple of Fire Emblem games, and all the ones that we've gotten, pretty much. Yeah, let's go to the Liberated Hideout. So the way that items work as in this game is a little weird and very important to doing well in battle. I think if something trips up players, it might be this mechanic. And so if we go into our inventory here, every character can hold exactly one item. And so, like on Lucas, he just has a standard lance right now because we didn't give him a better lance. We gave him a leather shield instead, which increases his defense. So he's doing less damage for the sake of more defense. So you can only hold one item. You can't switch between weapons in combat with characters or anything like that. You can also hold a food item, like an orange, in case you need a little bit of a health during battle, or you need to recover fatigue. And so, yeah, like right now we have a really powerful lightning sword. It's really good early in the game. We have that on Alm. And whatever item you have equipped that isn't something like food, like say you have a defensive item like a shield or a weapon like a lance, as you use that in battle, essentially the experience of that weapon or that item will go up, and you'll learn new abilities from that. And so as we level up this lightning sword, you can see 3 stars. There are 3, I believe there are 3 different skills. Yeah, there are 3 different skills that we can learn for that lightning sword. Magic doesn't work this way, so if your character is a mage, they just learn spells at a certain level. And depending on, like, the villager you pick to become a mage, they'll learn spells at a different rate. Yeah, so that's a big thing. Having the right item on the right person is very important. And somebody asked me earlier, what is it like playing this game without the weapon triangle? And defense, both physical defense and resistance magic defense, is really, 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 really important in this game. Even more important than a game like Awakening or a game like Fates. Because you don't have that weakness, that weapon triangle weakness to take advantage of, your raw defense has to be a little bit more prioritized, and you have to be a little bit more considerate about the situations you're putting your characters in. So that sort of thing. Alright, so let's go explore. This is a dungeon. Sorry for all that talking. I just want to try to give people a sense of the game. What level is your orange? You don't level up food items. You don't learn anything from food. That'd be nice, though, if you could learn like a really powerful skill from an orange.
These sprawling catacombs were built as a resting place for Zophia's most distinguished families. But now, their halls are clogged with the stench of the dead, with corpses who have risen again as terrors.
Yes. There is no item fatigue as well. Your weapons don't break or anything. That's a good point to bring up. Alright, so we got attacked. These dungeons, for the most part, are really cool. I think they look really good. It's nice. These dungeons kind of they're spread out enough in the game that when you do encounter them, I feel like it's sort of a nice reprieve from just going around the map and getting into battles. However, these encounters that you get in during the dungeons are pretty simplistic. It's just, almost all of them are, or at least all the ones that I've encountered so far, I should say, have been exactly like this, where you have your army on the bottom and you have their army on the top. And so, on one hand, it's nice because it tends to go pretty quickly, but on the other, it feels a little, I don't know, a little boring. You can auto-battle now, which helps grinding. Yeah, apparently you can auto-battle. I heard that, my overworld, but where is the auto-battle option? I still haven't found it. I need to find it, because yes, I did read that you can auto-battle, which is a good point to bring up. And it does help with grinding. Support conversations are back, but they're not like they were in Awakening or Fates. They're like the GBA Fire Emblem games, where you have support conversations during battle. And it's kind of nice that we have a support conversation up for Faye, because she's a pretty cute character. She has this stalkerish-like obsession with Alm, which is something that we've seen with other characters, but I still think it's pretty fun. You saw it with, like, Robin and Tharja in Fire Emblem Awakening. It's under tactics. Okay. Thank you, my overworld.
There you are, Alm.
Hello, Faye. How's it going?
I'm doing just fine now. Seeing your face is always a bright spot in my day.
Well, I'm glad it's not a low point.
Now, shall I head back out there and slay more of your enemies for you?
Slay enemies for me? I would hope you're doing it for a better reason than just me.
Oh, is that what you want? Because I'll do it. I'll fight for any cause you desire. Just promise you'll be watching, Alm. Promise to look at me.
Faye, Look, just please be careful, alright?
Faye just wants love. She just wants attention. Somebody asked, is there marriage/children in this game at all? Not like in... No, basically. The short answer is no, or at the very least, unless they introduce it at the end of the game, I have not seen it. And so if that's an element that is really important to you from past Fire Emblem games, you can't romance people in the same way that you could in Awakening or Fates, and you can't have children the same way that you could in Awakening or Fates. So no, it's not like that. Somebody brought up a really good point, my overworld, and we have it here. I'll show it to you guys. It's really nice. I think this is going to be a controversial feature, but Milla's turn wheel, you can rewind time in battle, and it can really save your ass. Let's say the enemy gets a lucky crit, or you just get like a nasty miss. you can rewind time a certain amount, and so there is a limit to it. And you can kind of save yourself some frustration or save yourself some time. At first, I was worried it was going to make the game too easy, but I think there's still enough of a challenge. It hasn't made the game a breeze by any stance so far. So I don't have a problem with it, and in fact, there have been battles where I've gotten to the very, very end, and just one unlucky thing happened, and I was able to get through that, which has been kind of nice for me. And so I like it more than I thought I was going to like it. One thing I should say about support conversations is if you do want to get into the support conversations with those characters, you're doing that in combat, and so it's something to think about, like where you're positioning them after they have that conversation and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, let's
Allow
fight.
me.
Real quick.
Stand back.
Alright, so people have a lot of questions.
Fools.
Just leave
Try to
it
get
to
to
me.
them,
Just say the word.
throw my guys up here real quick. These zombies shouldn't be too
Nothing
big of a
will stop
deal.
me.
We'll see.
The mother walks
Silk
with
is
me.
cool as well. She's a priestess. She heals you. Alright. Wait, there's no romance. Yeah, no romance. Along with supports, are there support-specific epilogues? That's something I really love about the GBA games. I know I might not have finished yet, but I was wondering and just tuned in. K to the C99, that is a great question. I haven't gotten anybody to that rank where those epilogues would happen, so I don't know. Our level up increase is randomized, and how does this... And does this time rewind effect... Does the time rewind affect that, if so? Yeah, so level ups are still randomized, but rewinding time doesn't change that. So if you get a level up that you don't like, you can't just rewind time and get a better level up. If they level up again, it'll still be the same bad level up that you got before. So that's a really good question too. I can actually show you guys. We'll just do a simple time rewind here. So I'll have Tobin go up and hit this zombie. Oh, the animations are so good. Alright, so we'll have him hit this zombie, and then we'll rewind time. You can't see it. It's on the bottom of the 3DS here, in the bottom right corner. But we hit that.
The turn wheel is
So apparently this is the first time we've used this in a save file, so it's explaining what it is. We know what it is. And so you can go back. So it's saying turn 2, this is where you're at right now. We can go back, and Tobin didn't do that attack. So there he's done it, there he hasn't. We can go all the way back to the beginning of the battle if we want to. And it's really quick, it's really easy to do. There are some optional fights that are really not really, really difficult, but difficult enough that this will especially come in handy, I think, for a lot of players in those instances specifically. And so yeah, let's go back. And there we go, we just undid that action.
Stand back. He's got nothing on me.
But right now in this save file, we can only use the turn wheel 3 times during a battle. So because we used it once, we only have 2 times left. Those sort of adventure-style sequences where you can explore the environment and you can get weapons and food, you'll also find cogs, and finding those cogs will give you an additional turn to use the turn wheel during battle. So if we were to find a cog, we could use it 4 times instead of 3 times. So you really want to explore the environment, making sure you're
Come
getting
at
that
me,
stuff.
fools.
Something, Kyo and Kyoma, something, Steins Gate. Sure. Yes.
Just say the word.
I feel you. I'm so hyped for this game. Yeah, it's really fun.
You should be ashamed.
The map design is not very good. That is one negative
Just
thing I'll
leave
say
it to
about the
me.
game compared to something like Conquest, which I think, of what I've played so far, it's like really interesting maps where every single battle is kind of pushing you in a different way. A lot of the fights here, the maps, the areas that you're fighting in, are not particularly well thought out. They're just, like I said, very simple. Of course, this is a remake of a 1992 game, and so this is a remake of the second Fire Emblem game, so they're still figuring it out. So it's hard
Allow me.
being too harsh on them, I guess, because of that. But I will say something that makes up for it is not necessarily the map design gets any better, but some of the objectives that you have to do, like there's a fight where somebody's in a cage and they're getting shot at, and so you have a bit of a time pressure to get through the fight and to save them and to kill those archers so they're not being constantly under assault. That stuff is interesting and adds some pretty cool tension to battles, I think. Are the chests randomized in the world? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe they're randomized. Ben, are you going to be checking out Akiba's Beat? Yeah, I've got a code for it. I will be checking it out. I reviewed Akiba's Strip back in the day. It was an early Ben Moore review.
That was invigorating.
I didn't love that game. We'll see how Akiba's Beat fares. My overworld, another good point. Also during dungeons, the wheel turns don't regenerate unless you leave the dungeon. Yes. Let's try... I know the dungeons are really cool and you guys haven't gotten to see much of them, but let's try to get to the end to show you guys the class change stuff. And you guys can kind of see what the dungeon looks like. If you attack and you hit an enemy before they see you, you get a little bit of an advantage in battle. All of their health will take a tick down, essentially. So it'll be slightly easier to kill them, which is cool. You can also run, which makes it pretty easy to avoid enemies, which can be nice, especially if you're trying to stream and just show off stuff. Alright. So we're actually going to skip this for spoilers. A guy named Cloud joined us. He's cool. So the way that you change classes in other Fire Emblem games are with seals. That a lot of you might be familiar with that mechanic, where you have it in your inventory, you use it. In Fire Emblem Echoes, you've got to go to these statues, which are usually at the ends of dungeons or shrines, and that's how you change classes. And there's different tiers of classes, and you have to reach a certain level within that tier to change class. But yeah, basically you do it right here.
Welcome, child of fate. I am a servant of Milla. Present to me those who are worthy. By my master's will, shall I bestow upon them new power.
Alright, so yeah, class changes. Promote to a class. Do your characters maintain their health after battles, or does it refill after each encounter? It refills after each encounter. So once you're done with the fight, even if they're at 1 HP, they're back up to full health during the next fight. That is true in dungeons and overworld skirmishes and things like that. So let's see if we can change classes here. Yes, we can. So these are all of our villagers. We can basically decide what we want them to be. And in my playthrough, I think I just gave everybody a bad promotion. But in general, I think you want to look at their stats and try to figure out, like, what do they excel at, and then give them a promotion that fits their natural stats. So, like, Gray, for example, he's got good speed and good skill, terrible resistance, not great defense. Tobin has got good speed and luck, decent defense. Faye has pretty good resistance, decent speed, that sort of stuff. But anyway, let's just change them all. So these are your options up front for the villagers of Alm's army. You've got Cavalier, which they just get around the map really quickly. You've got a Soldier, which is a good frontline unit. You've got a Mercenary, they're very quick. They tend to attack twice. They tend to get critical hits as well. Archers can attack from range. Mages, spellcasters who can also attack from range. That sort of thing. Something different and weird about Fire Emblem Echoes / Gaiden is archers can attack from point-blank range. So you can be in melee range and attack somebody, and you can counterattack melee units, which is something to consider. Archers are very, very, very good in this game. I think my archers in Alm's army are like my most prized possessions right now. So let's make Gray a mercenary. You get this nice little video.
here goes nothing.
We'll do one more, and then there's one final thing that I want to show you guys. Unfortunately, I can't show off the amiibo stuff on our capture unit because it doesn't have the reader for the amiibos. But basically, with the amiibos, in battle, you can summon phantom versions of the amiibo. So if you have an Ike amiibo, you can summon a phantom version of Ike, and he'll fight for you. And these phantoms are, like, pretty damn strong. So if you have amiibos and you want to take advantage of that, you can do that. Also, the Celica and Alm amiibos open special dungeons that you can only get through those amiibo. Let's make you a mage. This is exactly what I did in my playthrough. I just want Ike and Fire Emblem Heroes. That's all I want. I'm happy that I got Lyn, but I would really like Ike.
I'll grow however I can to keep you safe, Alm.
Faye, you're alright in my book. Okay, so let's quit out one more time. There's one last thing I want to show you guys before we end this stream. We only have 4 minutes left. Are you reviewing this game? ETA in the review. Yes, so I am... My goal is to have this review completely done and up before you guys have a chance to get the game on Friday. So the game comes out Friday. I'm hoping to get the review up either tomorrow or Thursday, or like the very latest for some reason Friday morning. And so the review, like, that is my #1 priority. I'm putting other things aside right now to get this review done and to you guys as quickly as possible. We're trying to get reviews out quicker. We're really trying. Alright, so this is a Act 3 save. Nothing's going to be spoiled here. Well, I shouldn't say nothing. You're going to see the map and things like that, and so if you do want to duck out now, I totally understand, but in my opinion, I don't think you're going to get anything ruined by seeing this save file. Just FYI. Okay, so what I wanted to point out really quick is, starting in Chapter 3, something I really like is you get to control both Alm and Celica's army simultaneously. And what I mean by that is Alm starts here. I've basically just been focusing on him right now. But Celica starts here, and you move them independently across the map. And that's actually pretty neat. So if you want to, you can move Alm, do a battle, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm sick of Alm, and move over to Celica. And both of their armies feel very different. And so Alm's army has, like I said, those villagers where you basically get to mold them, whereas Celica's army starts out as very mage heavy and kind of has a specific focus to that. You get some more agile melee characters pretty soon, but it is kind of cool bouncing back and forth between the feel of the two different armies and the different skirmishes that you encounter. Like early on in Celica's storyline, you fight a bunch of pirates, a lot of pirates. And that's very different than kind of the environments and the stuff that Alm is seeing. So it's neat bouncing between the two of them. Futaba figure is up for pre-order. Thank you, Robert. We understand, Ben. Stoked to see the review. Cool. Ben, can you talk about how you feel about the Fire Emblem franchise after this game? Yeah, like I said, I feel more excited and enthused about Fire Emblem than I ever have. Before, it felt like Fire Emblem's games came out at a very slow clip. Like, you had the GBA games, and then you had the GameCube game, and the Wii game, and then you had Awakening, and there was a lot of time, it felt like, between all of these things, and they were all, like, pretty different from each other. Whereas now, I feel like Fire Emblem is going a bunch of different directions simultaneously, and I like all of those directions. Echoes is very different from Fates, which is very different from Heroes, and I want to see what they're going to do on the Switch. And so, right now, because of all those different directions, I'm a bigger Fire Emblem fan than I've ever been. But if you heard Frame Trapped, I basically said the same thing there. The music is pretty good so far. Is there similar quality throughout, in your opinion? Yes, the soundtrack is better than I was expecting. The soundtrack is very good. I really like the overworld map theme, too. Okay, a lot of rambling there at the end. I hope I was able to tell you guys some important things. I hope you got a good sense of the game. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to writing this review. That should be up soon. And I will see you guys tonight for the group stream. Bye, everybody. Boop!